Have you ever felt a chill crawl up your spine for no reason at all? A sudden, inexplicable sense of being watched from the shadows. Tonight, we journey down a stretch of asphalt so steeped in darkness that it's been called America's most haunted road. We're going to Clinton Road, and I suggest you leave the lights on, deep in West Milford, New Jersey. A 10-mile ribbon of poorly maintained pavement cuts through dense, foreboding woods. This is Clinton Road. It's a lonely place, with very few houses to break the monotony of the trees that lean in over the road. Their branches, like skeletal fingers, reaching for your car. The air here feels heavy, thick with untold stories and a palpable sense of dread. The legends of Clinton Road are not new. They are woven into the very fabric of this land for over a century, long before it became a rite of passage for thrill-seeking teenagers. The area was known as a place of darkness. Locals whispered tales of strange lights flickering between the trees and of shadowy figures that darted just at the edge of sight, their movements unnatural and swift. Our story begins with 4 friends, Liam, a skeptic and the designated driver, Chloe, a believer in all things paranormal, and Maya and Ben, a couple who were mostly just along for the thrill. They were armed with nothing but a map, a bag of snacks, and a nervous energy that filled Liam's beat-up sedan as they turned off Route 23 and onto the infamous road. The sun had just set, painting the sky in bruised shades of purple and orange. As they drove deeper, the dense canopy of trees swallowed the remaining light, plunging them into an early, unnatural twilight. The road was narrow and winding, its surface cracked and uneven. There were no streetlights, only the twin beams of their headlights cutting a nervous path through the oppressive darkness. Chloe was the first to speak, her voice a hushed whisper. They say this road is a magnet for weirdness, not just ghosts, but strange creatures and even satanic cults. Ben laughed nervously from the back seat, but Maya squeezed his hand tightly, her eyes wide as she peered into the inky blackness of the woods. Liam just rolled his eyes, keeping his focus on the treacherous curves ahead. Their first intended stop was the infamous Dead Man's Curve, a sharp, unlit bend in the road that has claimed more than its fair share of lives. But before they could reach it, something else caught their attention. Tucked away in the woods, barely visible through the thicket, stood a strange, conical stone structure. It looked ancient, like a forgotten tomb from another time. That's the Druidic temple, Chloe breathed, her face pressed against the window. Or at least, that's what the stories call it. The structure was actually an old iron smelter from the 19th century, but legend had transformed it into a place of dark rituals and sacrifices. Even from the car, they could feel a cold, unwelcoming energy radiating from the stones. A little further on, they passed the turnoff for the hiking trail that led to the ruins of Cross Castle. Built in 1905, the grand mansion had burned down decades ago, leaving only a stone skeleton behind. Chloe recounted the tales of hikers who ventured to the ruins, only to experience sudden seizures, discover strange bruises on their bodies, or witness disturbing symbols appearing on the remaining walls. Liam, ever the pragmatist, scoffed. It's just an old ruin. People's imaginations run wild in places like this. But even he couldn't deny the unsettling atmosphere that seemed to cling to the area. A heavy silence fell over the car, the only sound the crunch of gravel beneath their tires. The woods felt alive, watching them, waiting. As they rounded another sharp bend, Maya gasped and pointed. "Did you see that?" she whispered, her voice trembling. There was something in the trees. It had red eyes. Ben pulled her closer, trying to peer into the darkness. It was probably just a deer, honey. But Maya shook her head, her face pale. No, she insisted. It wasn't a deer. They finally reached the bridge over Clinton Brook, the site of the road's most famous legend. The air grew noticeably colder as Liam pulled the car over. This was Dead Man's Curve. The bridge was a simple, low stone structure, but it held a chilling story, the tale of the ghost boy. Chloe explained the legend in a hushed, reverent tone. They say a young boy drowned in the brook right under this bridge, she began. If you throw a coin into the water, his ghost will throw it back. Another version of the tale claimed the boy's spirit would push you into the water if you leaned too far over the edge, a desperate attempt to save you from his own fate. Despite Liam's protests, Chloe was determined to try. She fumbled in her pocket for a quarter, her hand shaking slightly. The others got out of the car, their footsteps echoing in the unnerving quiet of the night. The only sounds were the gurgling of the brook below and the rustling of leaves in the unseen woods. Chloe stood in the middle of the bridge, the small silver coin glinting in the moonlight. She took a deep breath and tossed it into the dark water below. They all held their breath, listening. For a moment, there was nothing but the sound of the stream, then a faint splash, followed by a chilling silence that was somehow worse than any noise. They waited, their eyes fixed on the murky water. Minutes stretched into an eternity. Liam was about to declare the experiment a bust when a small, metallic clink echoed from the asphalt behind them. They spun around. There, in the center of the road, lying directly on the yellow line, was a single, gleaming quarter. A wave of ice-cold fear washed over them. It was impossible. No one was there. The coin couldn't have bounced back up to the road. Ben grabbed Maya's hand and started backing towards the car. Okay, that's enough. Let's go. But Chloe was frozen in place, her eyes wide with a mixture of terror and awe. Suddenly, the still night air was shattered by the roar of an engine. Headlights blazed to life down the road, seeming to appear out of nowhere. They were blindingly bright, pinning the four friends in their glare. An old, black pickup truck was barreling towards them at an impossible speed, its engine screaming like a banshee. Panic erupted. They scrambled for the car, fumbling with the doors in their haste. Liam jumped into the driver's seat, his skepticism vanishing in a surge of pure adrenaline. He cranked the engine, which sputtered and died. The truck was getting closer, its horn now blaring a deafening, continuous blast. "Come on, come on," Maya screamed from the back seat. Liam tried the ignition again, and this time the engine roared to life. He slammed the car into gear and peeled away from the bridge, tires squealing on the worn pavement. The black truck fell in behind them, its headlights filling their rearview mirror, relentlessly closing the distance. Liam pushed the accelerator to the floor, the old sedan rattling as it sped down the dark, twisting road. But the truck was always there, glued to their bumper. It swerved wildly, trying to force them off the road. Through the blinding glare of the headlights, they could just make out the silhouette of the driver, a large, shadowy figure, utterly still. The chase seemed to last forever. Every curve was a potential death trap, the trees a solid black wall on either side. They passed the turnoff for Cross Castle, the stone smelter, a fleeting, monstrous shape in the dark. The phantom truck stayed with them, an unrelenting predator toying with its prey. Then, as suddenly as it had appeared, it was gone. One moment, the blinding headlights were filling their car. The next, there was only darkness behind them. Liam didn't slow down. He kept his foot pressed to the floor, his knuckles white on the steering wheel, until the red glow of the traffic light at Route 23 came into view. They sat at the light, the longest traffic light in America, in stunned silence. The 2-minute wait felt like an hour. No one spoke. The terror of the last few minutes was a living thing in the car with them, cold and suffocating. They had come looking for a ghost story and had found themselves in the middle of one. When the light finally turned green, Liam sped onto the main road, not looking back. They didn't stop driving for nearly an hour, putting as much distance as possible between themselves and Clinton Road. The adrenaline slowly faded, replaced by a deep, bone-chilling fear and the sickening realization of what they had experienced. They tried to rationalize it. A local playing a prank, a road-raging maniac. But they couldn't explain how the truck had appeared from nowhere, or how it had vanished into thin air. And they couldn't explain the quarter, lying perfectly on the yellow line of the bridge. The experience left its mark on all of them. Liam never again dismissed stories of the paranormal. Chloe, who had always been fascinated by the supernatural, was now terrified of it. Maya and Ben were plagued by nightmares of blinding headlights and a roaring engine in the dark. They never spoke of that night again. They had escaped Clinton Road, but a part of it had followed them. Sometimes, late at night, Maya would swear she saw a pair of headlights in the distance, headlights that didn't belong to any car. Liam would occasionally feel a cold spot in his car, even on the warmest days. Years later, Liam found himself telling the story to his own son, a cautionary tale about the dangers of seeking out the dark places of the world. He spoke of the ghost boy and the phantom truck, his voice low and serious. And as he spoke, he couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched from the shadows. The legends of Clinton Road persist because the darkness there is real. It's in the twisted trees, the crumbling ruins, and the cold water of the brook. It's in the real-life horrors that have taken place there, like the body of a mob hitman's victim found in the woods. The road is a scar on the landscape, a place where the veil between our world and the next is terrifyingly thin. So if you ever find yourself on that lonely stretch of road in West Milford, New Jersey, remember this story. Don't stop at the bridge. Don't go looking for the ruins of a castle. And if you see a pair of headlights appear out of nowhere in your rearview mirror, drive. Drive and don't look back, because on Clinton Road, the dead do not rest, and they are not happy to have visitors.